Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Transitions Group Town Hall. My name is Gavin. I'm the marketing and IT partner here at Transitions. Happy to host tonight's event. I'm just going to go over some ground rules really quickly, just on the Zoom webinar side for anyone that's just joining us. We love to pose our questions to the panelists and speaker today using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. There should be an icon there at the bottom of the Zoom window where you can pose your formal questions. Myself and the transitions team will be monitoring those questions and saving them for the appropriate time to ask the panelists today. We also have the chat box that we like to use for more informal questions or comments, or if anyone wants to share resources with all of the other attendees who are here tonight, you can go ahead and use the chat room. Just be careful that there's a blue tab there if you're addressing your chat room question or comment to the panelists alone or to all of the attendees and the panelists. So that's just a quick rundown of how we go about the Q&A. I am extremely excited today to have a speaker here today. He's always done such an amazing job, but I'm going to let Paul introduce today's town hall subject. Paul is the Chief Operating Officer of Transitions Group. So anytime you're ready, Paul, you can go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Thrilled to be here tonight. We have an awesome town hall to present to you and an awesome guest. Really thrilled also to announce the launch of the Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes program to the Transitions website, available for sale now. Our host tonight is the gentleman who's developed that program, who's a partner of Transitions, and we're thrilled to have him. Dr. Paul Homoly practiced implant and reconstructive dentistry for 20 years and was one of the first large implant and reconstructive practices in the US at the time. I was talking to Paul, and I've had the pleasure to get to know Paul fairly well over the past 6 months, as he's been instrumental in working with us to launch this material and in training our coaches so that they can support our customers in the field who are using it in their practices. So we are ready to go. We're ready to sell this program. We are ready to share this great content with you, and we're ready to support it in your practice. And we're here tonight with Dr. Homoly so that he can explain to you all the benefits of the Making It Easy for Patients to Say Yes program. Lisa, over to you.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It's actually a privilege and an honor. Dr. Paul Homoly and I have known each other for decades.
Yes, decades. Yes.
And my hair finally is the same color as his.
That's right. We got matching hair color now, Lisa.
Yeah. So we've known each other for decades. Actually, Dr. Homoly, it was my speaking coach 20 years ago and encouraged me to start speaking and spreading the message in dentistry. And we had a great time. He's been a wonderful mentor. He's absolutely brilliant. He has as many words as I do, maybe more.
No, Lisa, nobody's got more than you do. No.
But it's to bring this to Canada. And I think when the pandemic first hit, and I remember when I first got back 10 months ago, we're on day 500 or something, it feels like, but I remember talking to him and saying, oh no, what's going to happen to case acceptance? Forget about dentistry being essential and being shut down, but case acceptance, I'm really worried, Paul. And he said, there's not much to worry about. Patients will always say yes if we follow what we've always known, Lisa, and our beliefs and philosophy on back to even Yankee in the 60s, before I was born, never treat a stranger. So our philosophy on you treat a disease, you win, you lose. You treat a person, you win every time, no matter what the outcome. The beauty of this, it's a systematic process that any dental team, any dental practice at any level can implement and increase their case acceptance with our clients that have been using it. I know a lot of Americans that are involved in this. So we've Canadianized it. He's
Yes,
used all
we did.
Canadian terms, Canadianized it all. Even
Canadian
tooth
tooth
numbers.
numbering system. Yes.
Yeah. So Paul's been graciously given his hours and months of time with our dedicated team of coaches who work with clients to help us be better coaches and trainers to facilitate how to get this into the dental practice. So we all know there would be no dental practice if a patient didn't say yes with a smile on their face, agreeing to pay us more than it cost us to serve them for the best of their oral health, which is the gateway to their overall body wellness. So Paul, we look forward to hearing about it. And I'm excited to share this with Canadian Dentistry and with the support of, Paul, the other transitions Paul talks about. We put this on our website. I want you to look at this as simplicity. In order to multiply and to make it through the challenges we've been through in dentistry, to multiply, we must simplify. And that's what I really like about this program and the duplication. So, Dr. Paul, the stage is yours. Welcome to speaking to our precious resource clients in Canada and all of our dental team members. And we look forward to hearing how you're going to share with us about where case presentation and acceptance fits in current times.
Yeah. Thanks, Lucy. The truth is I'm the lucky one here. Paul and Lisa and Gavin, you've said some nice things about me, but the truth is I'm the lucky guy. And what I mean by that, Lisa, you remember the conversation we had when COVID-19 hit. I was sitting behind my desk and I said, my speaking career is over. It's over.
I said, me too.
Yeah, the speaking career is over, at least for now. And the serendipity of this, Lisa, is that about 2 years ago, I kind of woke up to the reality. I'm getting sick of getting on airplanes. I've had a terrific speaking career, Lisa. I've been literally around the world, and I've loved every minute of it. And this is not about me not wanting to continue to contribute. But frankly, I just got burned out getting on airplanes. So about 2 years, I migrated all of my mission critical content to online program. I did not have the pandemic in mind when I did this. And it's just serendipity that this work now has become an idea whose time has come. And so what was interesting is I had the online program, but you know what? Working in home is different than being on the road. I miss the collaborative aspect of it. So I thought of all of the people that I've had professional relationships. I'm talking about other consultants and other leaders and other speakers. And I thought, who would be really cool to create an alliance with now? Who can I get in trouble with? Who can I take down with me? And I thought of you, Lisa. You and I go back about 20 years back in the old Benco days. Yeah. And I have got so much respect. I remember I came up there, we spent time together. And since our conversation, I've had the privilege of working with your terrific team. Boy, they're sharp. I got to be careful what I say to these people. They're outstanding. So what I've done is they've been through the program a couple times. I've mentored them. I'll continue to mentor them. I'll continue to work with transitions. And this is a kickoff. And we're not going to get everything right, but our intention is to get everything right. And as we work through our processes together, I'm completely confident, Lisa, that what we got will work well for Canadian dentists because, there's not that much difference, to tell you the truth. And this work goes back 20, 25, 30 years. I've worked with billion-dollar dental service organizations. I've worked with individual solo practices. I've worked with specialists. This work contributes to millions of dollars of collections every month for my clients. And it's proven, it's tested. And now I am looking forward to having some fun with Canadian dentists. And in my exclusive relationship with Transitions, I want everybody to know that we partnered up on this. We partnered up on this. And so I'm part of the Transitions team. I'm one of the girls. I am one of the girls. You and me, Paul, we're the we're the odd ones out here. So I'd like to start tonight, Lisa, with, and I'd be interested in your experience here. Most of the clients I work with now, they're already back to pre-COVID collection levels. Has that been your experience?
Well, I can speak for our family and our network. And
yes.
Remember, we were privileged to work with very special people that believe in investing in themselves.
Sure.
Right. And being better and having coaches. So I can say as of today, every single member of our family is higher than pre-COVID, with some analytical tools that were a couple of weeks ago, 108%, Paul, I think, above pre-COVID.
Okay.
And that's just growing and getting better. So I am blown away how resilient dentistry is. Paul, do you remember working in the recession time and we was recession proof?
Like, gosh, I hear you. Yeah, but the point is, though, is that dentists remain busy. Dentists are plenty busy. And here I am, I'm talking about a treatment acceptance program. You think I'd be saying you're not busy enough. But the fact is, dentists are plenty busy. That's the problem. The first big mistake that I see dentists make is they confuse busyness with success. And let me clarify that. So many practices they live in a task mentality. They hop from chair to chair to chair. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. And I'm not saying that's not a good way to start. That's the way I started my career, right? You got to eat what you kill. You get in and you go. But after a while, that gets old. But after a while, that gets to be a habit too. And many dentists, as they get up to year 3 or 4 or 5, they realize they're kind of in a trap. They want to increase their income because of domestic expenses and school expenses and practice expenses. And they seem like the only way they can do that is by seeing more new patients. And it's that busyness trap they get into. And I'd like to start out tonight by kind of reframing what my work is all about. What my work is really about, Lisa, it's about finding joy in what you do on a daily basis. I mean, think about it. You know, I practiced for 20 years. I'd get up at 7 o'clock in the morning or earlier. I'd be seeing the first patient at 8. At 5 o'clock, I was walking out the door. I did that for 20 years. I spent more time with my dental assistants than I did my daughter, right? And so work is a huge component of our day-to-day life. Our work reflects on how we see ourselves. Our work reflects on how we interact with other people. Our work reflects on our personal inner energy. And so what my work is about is how do you make dentistry a significant source of one's joy? My definition of success, and this is where I like to kick my relationship with transitions off with this kind of meta theme, is that for me, success is when your work becomes a significant part of your joy. Now, Lisa, there'll be some people that would argue with me. They would say, oh, no, your work shouldn't be the center of your life. Family or community or some other, entity should be the center of your life. They would say to me, you'll never, when you're on your deathbed, Homoly, you won't wish for another day at the office. Well, I've had some great days at the office. I've had some great days when that patient that I reconstructed 6 months ago comes waltzing in the dental office. Their face lights up like a Christmas tree. They look better. They've got an energy about them. That's renewal for them, but it's renewal for me too. And I did that for 20 years, and that can't be a bad thing. So for me, when our work and our joy become indistinguishable, I mean, answer this question, Lisa, right now. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Am I working or playing right now? It's hard to tell the difference, isn't it?
Looks to me like you're playing, Paul.
Oh, we're playing.
Yeah, but you see, this is going to create income and opportunity for us. In many ways, we could define this as work, but the enjoyment aspect of it gives me a sense of fulfillment, gives me a sense of legacy, it gives me a sense, and that's what making it easy for patients to say yes is really about. And what I'd like to do right now, Gavin, if we could pull up the first poll. I want to poll this audience. And here's the question that I'd like everybody to answer. What would make your career more enjoyable? Would it be more income? Would it be doing more of the dentistry you enjoy? Fewer team challenges? More new patients? Would doing more fee-for-service dentistry make you a happier camper, or less physical discomfort? I find that many dentists are practicing with impending disability now. So if everybody would go and vote, what would make your career more enjoyable? Go ahead and pick one now. And Gavin, if we could show the results of this poll.
Still a lot of votes coming in.
Yeah.
That's all right. Flip it up.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And we should see the votes continue to compile as we go along.
Wow.
Okay. You know, the last time I did this poll, I had maybe 130 or so on a webinar I did. And what was interesting is that you see where it says do the dentistry, doing more of the dentistry you enjoy. That, Lisa, that's at the center of my work right there. I was just talking about that. Okay. Yeah. Interestingly, in the poll that I did last time, 30% of dentists were practicing with a physical disability. Wow. They would enjoy practice more if they had less discomfort. Go ahead and close that poll.
Sure.
Okay. So that's to kick this thing off. So when we say, and Paul, you did a terrific job of introducing the online program that it's available and everybody, and hey, I get it. Okay. There's a certain process, there's a certain step 1, step 2, step 3 about it, but I don't want you to miss the destination. Here's where we're going with this. Where we're going with this is for you to do more of the dentistry you love and be more fulfilled in your career. And the way we're going to go about that is enabling patients to accept your care more. It's kind of one leads to the other. It's the first domino that's got to fall. Does that make sense, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So second topic I want to bring up here is, okay, so you got a patient with a mouthful of dental problems. They waltz into your office, Lisa, and they've got old blue jeans on. They smell like cigarettes and Kentucky Fried Chicken, okay? and they open their mouth and it's a disaster. And they say, well, doc, this tooth right here, and they go on and on about that tooth right there. And my question would be, or has been, and it's a rhetorical question, how many dentists are confident in wrecking complete care to all adult patients who have been through a complete exam? I mean, do we look at patients and think, oh, man, whoops, is that me making that sound? I don't know. Do we look at patients? So that was Lisa. Okay.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
That was a trick you pulled on me, didn't you? All right. There's probably a couple more of those coming my way. So I'm going to be ready for you, Lisa. All right. So do we look at our patients and say, well, I don't know, maybe not, maybe I'll just, fix this and we'll just kick the can down the street, we'll let the hygienist deal with these other issues at the 6-month checkup. So the issue becomes, are we treatment planning patients for complete care dentistry? Let me talk about complete care. Complete care, Lisa, that does not necessarily mean complex care. Complete care is everything that a patient needs. For some patients, it's modest. It could be a fill-in and a cleaning and maybe a crown. Other patients, it's full mouth reconstruction. The point is that, Lisa, as dentists, we have privileges and responsibilities. Our privileges are many. We have status, we have income, we own our own business, but attached to those privileges are certain responsibilities. And the first responsibility that we have is to make patients aware of all their conditions. Let patients know the consequences of those conditions if left untreated, and determine the patient's concern for those conditions and recommend care. Our responsibility is not for them to accept dentistry. Our responsibility is to present dentistry, okay? And so there's 3 really solid reasons why to present complete care. Number 1, it's the law. It's standard of care. If you have patients that you're not revealing conditions to, you're not treatment planning there, you're in violation of standard of care and dental ethics. Now, everybody does it, okay? I'm saying that's the first reason. It's the right thing to do. Number two, and Lisa, you and I talked about this after COVID hit. Complete dentistry, recommending complete dentistry, in my opinion, is the new standard of care. Here's why. Because inflammatory oral conditions can relate to systemic conditions. There's a lot of evidence for that right now. And when an oral condition exacerbates a systemic condition, it makes the patient more susceptible to COVID-19, right? So now, Lisa, more than ever, it's important, it's mandatory for dentists to keep their patients safe. You know, the definition of complete dentistry is old as the hills. It goes like this. It's not my definition, but this is the one we all learn. Complete dentistry is the minimum amount of dentistry necessary to restore patients to maximum function, comfort, aesthetics, phonetics, airway, and I'll add patient safety. We can reconstruct the patient's mouth, but if they get sick in the process, we have not provided high standard of care. The third reason, and I don't know why this phone is working here. I put it on airplane. Are you calling me, Lisa? You did this. No, don't lie to me. You're calling me. Paul, take control there, would you?
Like I'll hold my hands like this.
Yeah, hold your hands. I'm gonna make sure that I'm on airplane mode. It's on airplane mode. See, it's on airplane mode. All right. The third reason, Lisa, you'll like this one. Third reason is that when doctors don't recommend complete care, that is when doctors don't reveal all the patient's conditions, then 6 months later, when they come in for the hygiene check, what does the hygienist say? Oh, you got this. Well, the doc didn't tell me that. Well, you got this. 6 months later, patient comes in. What does the hygienist say? Oh, you got this. And so what happens every 6 months, the hygienist is finding something else wrong. That's how the patient sees it. You ask any dental hygienist, you should do a survey on this, Lisa. Ask all your hygienists, how many of you have heard your patients ask, you're not going to find anything wrong in my mouth today, are you? Right?
Yeah.
So that's the deal with complete care. So if you would, Gavin, if you could pull up the next poll on complete care. Okay, here we go. What are your challenges concerning recommending complete care needs? Number one, you're not sure whether your patients are concerned about their complete care. Or two, I'm not confident I can technically deliver complete care. Or three, I don't want to overwhelm patients with their complexity of the complete care needs in the fee. Or three, I always offer patients their complete care needs. Let's give them a minute to answer this poll. And Lisa, I'd be interested in hearing your response to why you think dentists, the kind of challenges dentists have recommending complete care needs.
Well, I think, you know what, while people are voting, I mean, I think there's multiple reasons. I think probably confidence is one thing. If you see a condition in the mouth and you're not technically confident in delivering a solution, it's difficult to talk about. There's a lot of dentistry going out of practices,
Sure,
side sources, because general dentistry, there's a lot of different procedures. But I think the biggest thing, and you know, it's interesting today, we were just looking at some of our clients. The average practice in Canada are cabinet millionaires. I mean, when I say cabinet millionaires, they've got $500,000 minimum, hands down, in their charts without another new patient if they just
right.
go back to who brung them. And I can tell you, Canadians, when Canadians in a Canadian patient consumer study, the Dental Association did, is the second reason why patients don't show up for hygiene is every time I go there, they tell me there's another tooth to work on.
Right.
And I call that Crown of the Year Club.
There you go. There you go. All right, Gavin, let's see the results. Why dentists are not. There we go. Again, almost always the clear leader is I don't want to overwhelm patients with the complexity of the complete care needs. And I'm surprised here, Lisa, this is pretty good here. you've got a good percentage that always offer patients complete care needs. So that's probably a result of your coaching or your training there. So good for you. Okay, Gavin, you can go ahead and close that poll now. Okay. All right. So okay. So if I was to say, if we were to talk about, what's the big enchilada? What's the big stick? What's the big tool that most dentists rely on to sell dentistry? Okay, what's the thing they always go back to? Patient education. Patient education. I remember as a young dentist sitting in the audience listening to all of the big dogs talk about educate, and now more than ever, manufacturers have got software programs and you name it, visual aids, educate. And what I would ask our listeners on our town hall, how many of you have done a really good exam on an adult patient? Okay, non-emergency adult patient now. You've done a real good exam on them and you showed them all the bells and whistles and you took the pictures and you showed them the scan and the 3D thing that moves around, right? And they're going, oh, they're looking at all this stuff, right? And then you explain it all to them and they say, well, doc, well, how much will all this cost, doc? They ask it almost flinching. And you kind of duck that question and you bail out of the room and you get Ginger, get in here. So in waltzes Ginger, your treatment coordinator, right? And she looks at the record and she thinks, oh my God, right? She says, well, Lisa, your fee is going to be $27,000. And the patient hits the roof, oh my God. I had no idea. Dr. O'Malley, my family dentist, I went to years. He never said any of this. And do I really need this amount of that? And then it goes right downhill and they walk out to the office. But the doctor doesn't know this because the doctor ran out of the room and he's in the other tooth kind of pounding on another tooth, isn't he? Right? At the end of the day, doctor goes up to Ginger, the office manager, treatment coordinator. How did Lisa do with her treatment plan? Oh, she went home to think about it, right? I guarantee you, Lisa's not going home to think about it. Lisa's going home to drink about it. Yeah. Because some of these patients are literally just blown out of the water. What I want to show you now, Lisa, and you've seen this many times before, and this has been absolutely the heart and the backbone of answering the question, is patient education the key to case acceptance, or is there something else going on? So let me click to share screen. Whoops. Gavin, if you would let me share my screen. Got it? All right. Let's see what we got here. Holy smokes, look at all the stuff I got open.
Your computer's gonna crash.
Yeah, I'm gonna crash. Where did all this stuff come from? Did you put this on here? You did that again.
Your laptop.
Holy smoke, Transitions Town Hall, here we go. Look at this, I have it all right here. Okay, let me do this real quick. All right, that's me in my shirt. All right. Is patient the key to treatment acceptance, or is there something else going on? Let me make a brazen statement right now, Lisa. Here it is. You ready? Brace yourself. I believe patient education is horribly overrated as an influencing factor for treatment acceptance. Here's why. Because I've got 40 years experience listening to dentists over-educate their patients and having patients waltz out their door. I did it for the first 5 or 6 years of my practice. I educated their earwax out. They knew more. They had a mini dental school education when I was done with them, Lisa. Okay. So what is it? What is it that we need to focus on to experience treatment acceptance at the level that we would like? And this is the concept. It's called left side and right side dentistry. Lisa, you know this really well.
Years ago. Yeah.
Your team teaches this. We spend a lot of time with the transitions team. Listeners, when you work with the transitions team, they are up to speed because I I hammered this and they got it, okay? And I'm going to teach it to you right now. I'm going to give you the quick start. Here we go. I want you to think about every one of your new adult patients as being in one of two groups. Either they are tooth dentistry patients, that's all the way to the left in the diagram. See where it says tooth dentistry? That's simple cleanings, fillings, that kind of stuff. They're total care needs. Remember total care needs? We talked about total care needs earlier. There are total care needs. Typically will sum less than $3,500, 3 or fewer restorative units. All the way to the right is complete dentistry patients. These are greater than $3,500. These are the complex full mouth reconstructions. Right in the middle, you see the dotted vertical line. That's the dividing line between modest care and complex care. Patients to the left of that line require no changes in their vertical dimension, anterior guidance, plane of occlusion, or condylar positions. These are patients that can be treated well with barn door hinges and triple trays. You get them in, you get them out. You treat them and you treat them, and they love you for it. This is bread and butter dentistry. And this is not to say that these aren't valuable patients or worthy of your care. I'm just saying they don't require a lot of dentistry. And we're going to call them left side patients because they're to the left of that vertical line. Right side patients are on the other side of the line. These are the people that require changes in vertical and plane of occlusion, condylar position, and anterior guidance. These are people that need significant amount of dentistry. So I want you to think about all your new patients being one of these two categories. Now, here's why this is important. This is the big deal right here. Left side patients and right side patients behave very differently. They respond differently during the new patient process and case acceptance conversation. Let's start with the left side. Typically, they're young. Typically, they have minor acute conditions. Something happened the other day. They chipped a tooth or something's going on. They're minor conditions, minor disability. If you're taking notes right now, this would be worthy of a note. A disability is how the condition interferes with the patient's lifestyle. For example, Helen works at the bank. She chipped her front tooth 2 days ago. She goes into work, she's working with people, she's working with her coworkers, and people start noticing her chipped front tooth. So now she gets embarrassed. She doesn't smile, she doesn't talk to people. She's embarrassed. The embarrassment is the disability. The condition is the chipped tooth. The disability is never in the mouth. Everybody, you got to get this. Disability is not in the mouth, it's in their lifestyle. And what I'm saying is that left side patients have minor disability. They're typically not lifestyle hindering conditions. And oftentimes they don't even know they got the condition. These people typically have minor fit issues. Fit issues, Lisa, are all of the life circumstances that patients bring with them to their dental office. It's their budget, it's their work schedule, it's their family, it's their travel, it's their health. It's all the things in their life that they need to fit your dentistry into. That's why I call them fit issues. They need to accommodate their fit issues to fit your dentistry into it. And what I'm saying is that left side patients typically have minor fit issues. The fees are relatively modest and the time and treatment is fairly simple. So it's not a big deal. The driver, this is it. This is the big drum roll time. Here we go. The driver of treatment acceptance for left side patients is patient education. Now, I know earlier I said patient education is horribly overrated. Well, for left side patients, you must educate them because otherwise many of them would never know they had a condition. They don't have any symptoms. They don't have any disability, Lisa. So they come in, you say, hey, how can I help you? And they say, well, yeah, I don't have any problems. I just need a cleaning and a checkup. I got new insurance and I got to get checked up. Well, you look in their mouth and they got class 2 decay, asymptomatic periapical abscesses, impacted third molars. They got a mouth full of problems. And so what do? We show them the x-rays, we show them the scans, and they go, I had no idea. And you go, yeah, here you go. And so now they're concerned, aren't they? So what we do, patient education, we educate patients into their disability, and that forms the basis of them getting treatment. And typically, the last distinguishing characteristic of left side patients is typically they're ready for care. Typically, they're going to do something in the next, month or so, and get their teeth fixed. Why are they ready for care? It's real simple. It fits. It fits into their life.
And to add to that, Paul, they also have an insurance limitation of a certain amount of money per year that they work to fit that into, that can get them out of the gate. But it's interesting. We spend so much time explaining the conditions and don't focus on their disability.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because oftentimes left side patients don't have any disability. So we have to show them the condition, then talk about, here's the disability that will happen if you don't get it fixed. So that's the left side patient.
Yeah.
Right side patients, totally different. Typically they're mature, they're over 50. This is hard to believe, I am over 50, okay? And as a person who's over 50, I can assure you that people over 50 are become typically more bountiful healthcare consumers. They spend more time in drugstores. They spend more time in physician's office. They have cardiologists and rheumatologists and orthopedic surgeons and urologists and the list goes on and on. As we age, we consume more and more healthcare. Here is the rub. When you go into a hospital situation, like an emergency room, or you go into your general practitioner's office, what kind of connection do you typically make there? Typically not a lot. I was swinging too hard on the driving range and I screwed up my back. So I went to an orthopedic surgeon. I walked into the office. The girl slid the window open, right? And I did the talking through the window thing. I sat in the waiting room for 25 minutes. Then somebody who didn't introduce themselves came out, dragged me to an x-ray booth. They took an x-ray of my spine. Then I sat in the examination room for 10 minutes. Doctor walked in. He never sat down. He showed me the x-ray and he said, you need an MRI. I'll write your prescription and waltzed out the door. Now, am I saying that I did not receive high standard of care? No, I'm not saying that at all. But did I receive high standard of caring? Did I feel a connection? No, I didn't. This is why. This is a cornerstone of the program, Lisa, that we'll be doing together. The cornerstone of this program is how do you manifest standard of caring with patients, especially right side patients. Lisa, you saw the results of the poll when I asked, how many of you, what would make your practice more fulfilling? 45% said they wanted to do more of the dentistry they enjoyed. Well, what kind of dentistry do you enjoy? Two surface composites or composites, pardon me, right? I caught myself, didn't I? Root canals, cleanings? No, most dentists, after you've been practiced for a while, you want to do what? You want to do more cosmetic dentistry. You want to do more implant dentistry. You want to start doing all on four. You want to do more right side care. And so to do more of the dentistry you love, to make your work a significant source of your joy, remember that? Remember that? In order for that to happen, you need to become an expert in communicating and influencing with right side patients. There needs to be a connection there. And one of the most important things, this is going to sound really trite, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. What the heck? We're only on a town hall. This is only my first introduction to transitions. Why not just put it on the line? You ready for this, Lisa? Here we go. One of the most important things that dentists need to do with right side patients is you need to be likable. Likability. It's simple. Likability. People would say, well, of course, that makes perfect sense. Well, yeah, then how come we don't do it? Think about the new patient experience. Think about the new patient experience. What's likable about the new patient experience? Let's do a multiple choice question here. Okay, here we go. Full mouth x-rays, is that likable? Oh, I don't think so. How about study models? There's a real trip. That's good. Here's one of my favorite likable things. How about perio probing? There's a real likable experience for a patient. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic a little bit. Why? Because the truth of it is that the most likable thing about the new patient experience is the patient's experience with you, the dentist, not your hygienist, not your treatment coordinator, but allow patients to go to the highest level of authority in the dental practice and speak to these patients in such a way that that patients, right side patients, want to be understood.
Yep.
They want to be known. Because of the disconnect in the medical community, they're looking for a healthcare provider that they feel can be their advocate, can be their guide, instead of just a transactional relationship, body part replacement relationship. They're looking for something more. And oftentimes they can't even express what they want, but they know when they get it.
Well, I will tell you, Paul, it's been expressed and it's been documented and surveyed that patients demand empathy to spend more money than they ever dreamed possible with their dentistry. And empathy is they want to feel like you understand and walk in my shoes before you tell me what I need to do, I have to do, and I should do. They don't want to be told that anymore.
Well said. Well said. These patients have major chronic conditions.
Yeah.
And the trick about chronic is these patients have had these conditions for years. Why? Do they don't know they have to? No, they know they've got to. They know they're missing teeth. They know they're unhappy. They know they can't chew their food. Why? Because it hasn't fit. And when you have a patient, here's a little tip and trick. All right. Here's a little tactic. When you have a patient say, well, doc, I haven't been to the dentist in years. When you hear a statement like that, let it kind of float by, but then return to that statement. And I would say something like, Lisa, you mentioned that it's been years since you've been to the dentist. Why now? What's going on now that makes the appearance of your front teeth really important to you? And that will open up, Lisa, that will open up a whole different kind of conversation. And that's when I hear about your daughter getting married or a new job or a new relationship or something that's going on in your life. And what that reveals is your behavioral benefit. This is where you need to discover. These people have major disability. It's just not a chipped tooth. It's lack of digestive problems, inability to speak, intimacy issues, confidence issues, huge disability. And in the presence of huge disability, there's always huge behavioral benefit. It's a real important thing. These people have major fit issues. It's no longer a $1,300 treatment plan. It could be $13,000 or $23,000 or $33,000. And because there's major fit issues, these people need to have the experience of being understood. Another way of saying that, Lisa, you said it earlier, empathy. But you know what? For most male dentists, I've coached maybe 1,000 or more male dentists, and I say empathy to them. They go, huh? What do you mean? You know, it's like I'm like playing piano to water buffalo. You know, like what? What are you talking about? Right? I was the same way. You know, I can make fun of male dentists. I'm a male dentist, right?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. But, you know, giving people the experience of being understood is really powerful. Is really
and also too, Paul, with this, one thing major you've taught us is when you can understand what's going on in their life and you show them how the dentistry fits into their life, they're connected to it. They might not be able to do it all at once, but their lifetime strategy. So their lifetime strategy for care, because I think it's important. This isn't about, oh, go out there and present $40,000 cases, right?
Right.
Remember, you and I go back and forth on this, but I think it's how do you understand them and then show them how and what's important to them, how it's affecting them. And that's through master interviewing. You taught me how to master interview 18 years ago.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's less about educating people and more about understanding them. That, you know, that's the other side of the coin. Yeah. And that's the side of the coin that is not emphasized in dental school, Lisa. It's not emphasized in continuing education. Hey, listen, I've spoken at every major meeting in North America. And these major meetings, they may have 50 speakers over the next 4 days. Of the 50 speakers, 48 of them are talking about a damn tooth. And guys like me are in the small room in the back. Lisa, you suffer from the same thing. You know, it's very few of us are talking about what really motivates people to connect with the provider. Once that connection occurs, then when patients become ready, you see, this is the piece with right side patients. It's right at the bottom of the list there. Oftentimes, these patients are not ready for care the first time they hear their treatment plan. They're not ready because it doesn't fit. Gavin, go ahead and put up poll number 4, please. I tricked you. You were thinking poll number 3, weren't you? Yeah. 2 can play this game, you know. Okay, here we go. For patients whose fees are $10,000 or greater, what percentage of them accept complete care the first time they hear their treatment plan? Okay, I'm talking about complete care. I'm not talking about they'll accept 1/2 of a $10,000 treatment plan. I'm talking about accepting the entire treatment plan and going through it. Okay, and 30 years ago, it was difficult to do a $10,000 case. For $10,000, you could fix the patient's tooth and remodel their garage. You're right. Now, with aligner orthodontics and implants, patients could spend $10,000 per quadrant, can't they, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and Gavin, if you could go ahead and show us the results. There we go. Okay, this is real typical.
Wow.
All right. If you add up the bottom 3, 46 plus 30 is 76 plus 22 is what? 98. Okay. So about 98% of you have said that fewer than 22% of patients are ready to accept care. What does that say? Well, let's just go to the 5% or less. That's 46%. Let's say, okay, 5% or 46% of you say 5% or less patients are ready. Okay, so what does that mean? That means 95% are not ready. So the real art of treatment acceptance, you can go ahead and close the polls now, Gavin.
Dance them to readiness, Paul.
Okay, you ready? Here's the big drum roll. Here we go. Here we go. I want everybody to think about this. Okay, 95% of your patients aren't ready. Let's talk about the 5% who are ready. And you know who they are. They walk in, you go, hey, I'm ready. You treated my wife, you treated my friend. I heard your reputation. I know I got problems. My wife came in here and my problems are worse than hers. And I'm getting ready to retire. I want to look good. We're going to go on a travel. Fix me up, doc. And bam, you think, oh man, order the condo. I'm ready. You think you're like Mr. Wonderful, right? But you see, that's a rare patient, isn't it? Most of the patients are going to go home and think about it. So what you need, you don't need making it easy for patients to say yes for patients who are ready. Come on, if they're ready, you can do their treatment plan in the car if they're ready, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
When patients are ready. What you need making it easy for patients to yes for is how do you manage patients who aren't ready? How do you present care such that you present it so well that even though they're not ready, they'll never forget how well you offered it. And when they become ready, they'll return to you. That is the art of the program.
And it's interesting too, if you think about, like, there's so many dental practices that have patient charts. Don't ever mention this again. They said no in 2000.
Right.
Like, and we're all like, we're Canadian, right? We're nice. So we don't want to talk about it. And then there's money. Oh my God, money. We're not in this for the money, but we really are, but we can't say it. That's
Right.
what Americans, at least they admit it, right? But anyways, readiness is dynamic. It's not static.
That's right.
Huge evolution of practice growth is just because a no today doesn't mean it's going to be a no next time, but don't stop revisiting with them what's going on in their life. And when the fit and the disability match, they'll be ready.
That's it. And and there's a process to this. Remember, I was talking about fit issues. And during that new patient interview, you learn about, the boys are going to college and they're remodeling their home. And you learn about their life. And now you present this great treatment plan and they go, well, I really like this, but I really need to think about it. But you record all those fit issues. Okay, that's the discovery guide. That's what the discovery guide is all about. So now they come in 6 months later to your hygienist. All right, most hygienists, the good hygienists, what are they going to do? They're going to review the medical history. They should then review the dental history. Has there been any change in dental history? All right. And this is where oftentimes the conversation can get derailed. They'll look at the treatment plan. They'll say, are you ready for that bridge? Patient says no. 6 months later, are you ready for the bridge? No. 6 months later, don't talk to me about the bridge. You write in the record, don't talk to the patient about the bridge, right? Here's what the hygienist needs to do. I'm talking right to the hygienist right now. And I love you guys, okay? You're a critical part of the right side care team. You can't have a right side practice unless you got absolutely dynamite hygienist, okay? So here comes the patient. You treatment plan them for a mouthful of dentistry. They weren't ready because the boys are going to school, okay? Let's just say that, okay? Any change in your medical history? Nope. Any change in your dental history? Nope. How are your boys in college? How are they doing there? Oh, they're doing okay. Terrific. Well, later then, is this now a good time to talk about the bridge? Or should we just go ahead with your cleaning? What would be best for you today? See, the trick is revisit the fit issue.
Yeah.
Before you revisit the condition. That way you never feel like you're selling. You see, when the treatment doesn't fit, Lisa, you know this, I'm preaching to you, right? You know this. When the patient isn't ready, if you continue to overeducate them, the overeducation comes across as sales pressure. And my God, what happens to patients when they feel sales pressure? Boom, you lose them. I've got about 6 minutes left. Why don't I answer a couple questions? At least I can go all night. You know that.
I know,
right?
Like we all. Well,
But I think we've kind of taken a big bite out of the apple. Let's hear from some of our listeners and see what kind of questions or comments, or maybe you've got a question, or Gavin, maybe you got a question, or Paul, you're sitting back there, right? Maybe you got a question. Somebody's got a question.
I'd like you to talk about what are some of the common mistakes that happen with case acceptance. I mean, you've talked about them not knowing the patient, not understanding their disabilities, their fit.
Right.
But what are some other things that the listeners can leave with that they could modify?
A real common one, I see this in new dentists, is they chart and they treatment plan at the same time. They're doing the exam and the chairside assistant is sitting across the patient from them. And they're going doing the exam. They'll say, okay, we got a cracked MOD on tooth number 19. It needs a crown. We've got periapical radiolucencies on teeth number 21 and 22. They need root canal post. And so what happens is the dentist calling out the condition and the treatment plan. You've got this, he needs that. You got this. And here's what the patient needs. You need. It's the worst possible thing you can do because the patients have no idea what you're talking about. And it's every time they say, you need a crown, you need a root canal, you need this, you need that, it's ching. It just adds up, and it's a horrible way to present care. Another big mistake is seeing too many patients, seeing too many new patients where you don't have time to connect with them. And many dentists will say, well, that's what my team does. Oh yeah, I'm seeing 80 new patients a month. I'm involved in all these insurance plans and I belong to this DSO. And it's not, I'm not negative on DSO. No, don't go there, Paul. No, I'm a big fan of DSO. So don't get me wrong here, everybody, okay? However, there's many organizations to where these patients are seeing, rather these dentists are seeing 60, 70, 80 patients a month. They say, well, my team handles all that. Right? So the patient comes in, what happens? They go to get the x-rays, then they go to hygiene, and then a hygienist, does the exam, cleans the teeth, rings the bell, ding, 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 in walks the doctor. Doctor blesses the event, walks out of the room, goes to the treatment coordinator. Treatment coordinator says that would be $3,500, and away you go. And you do that, 15 times a day. And what will happen is that you get into this hurry sickness. You build some bad behavioral habits. Now, I understand in the beginning, you may need to do that so you can eat. I get it. Okay. But that's no way to live.
Well, it's interesting through this pandemic, a lot of our clients that do not feel the rush to treatment plan a whole health strategy on the fly in a 3 to 5 minute hygiene exams, they invite the patient back. But it's interesting with COVID, we're not inviting them back as much as they're now being forced or encouraged to do virtual consults where the patient and their decision maker is in the comfort of their own home. and they're nailing it because they have full attention.
Right.
They've prepared. They understand the humans. They have other people there. You can't say to two husband and wife sitting at a kitchen table, they can't say, I gotta ask my husband.
He's sitting right there.
Right there. What do you think?
What do you think, honey?
Yeah.
And she's kicking him under the table.
And I'm telling you, patients, in this country, patients missed dentistry when it was shut down. Like we never probably imagined they would ever would.
Okay.
So they're more health conscious. They came back. We weren't shut down again because we're finally considered an essential part of healthcare, go figure, which is an awesome win. But I think what it is they're now looking, they've got so much health information, positive and negative coming at them, all afraid they have a virus with no symptoms and variants and Brazil and UK. It just, the fear mongering on the news is
right.
I think they'd rather go to the dental office. It's the only place to go right now.
That's right. They can't go to a restaurant. Let's go to get our teeth fixed.
But I think us connecting, taking the time to work up, if dentists would just take the time to work up their case, prepare how they're going to present it, not educate it.
Right.
Present it into their life. Now we can do it into their home. While they're in their home, the decision-making is getting unbelievably better.
Yeah, and in the program, making it easy for patients to say yes. I have a module on virtual meet and greet. That is how do you meet and greet people virtually, and case conversation on the in virtual. I like virtual. Look at this. I mean, we have each other's full attention. It's convenient. I'm a patient at Mayo Clinic. I've had heart arrhythmia for like 40 years. I'm a healthy guy, so I want to stay that way. So it's an hour and a half drive for me to get to Scottsdale, where the Mayo Clinic is. So about twice a year, we do something like this with my cardiologist, and we sit there and I tell him jokes and we have a big time. And he's fascinated what I'm doing with dentists, and I'm training him to be better. I can't help myself, Lisa. You know how that is. What else, guys?
How many new patients is too many new patients, Paul? Can you
I don't know. The dentists that I talk to that are doing complete exams, who are doing complete care dentistry, those dentists are getting by really well with 20 new patients a month. Now, understand, these dentists have been in town for 25, 30 years. They got strong word of mouth, right? That may not be true, Paul, for the young practitioner. Young practitioners, you got to suffer. You got to pay your dues is what it boils down to. And you may have a different opinion on this, Lisa, but I think for the young practitioner, my first practice was in a dental group. I don't know if you knew this, Lisa, but my first practice, I walked in the front door. I didn't have to worry about appointments. They were already made. I didn't have to worry about staff. They were already there. I didn't have to buy equipment. I did nothing. All I did was treat patients. And I treated a lot of patients every day. And the name of that group, United States Navy. Okay. I was a Navy dentist. And for that reason, I've always been a big fan of a group practice, 2 or 3 dentists working together, or 200 or 300 practices working together. And I think for the younger dentists, Paul, for them to pay their bills, to get their hands speed up, to build their confidence, okay, get in there and grind, get the job done, do left side dentistry, do it well. But keep in mind that where you are now does not determine where you're going to end up. And
if you keep growing.
Yeah. And one of the reasons, a big reason why I'm thrilled to be, partnered with Transition is that between what I know and what Lisa and her team knows, we provide the resources to help dentists get from where they are to where they want to go, right? It's this, here's where you are, here's where you can go, and we've got the resources to help you get there. And I'm just thrilled about
it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys. I'm looking forward to you guys contributing to my body of work. I mean, I learn as I go, as you do too, Lisa. So this has been, I hope this has been fun for the attendees.
Well, we really appreciate it. I think it's a great start for people for dentistry to see they know what we're committed to, but to see we're not just committed to telling you, we're committed to implementing it. So tomorrow, Paul is going to send out an email because I think it's important that they can still work with you on your virtual program. Transitions is a coaching add-on to get it implemented, because there's dentists I know that just do your virtual
Right, do the online program. That's right.
and they work really well with that. And then if they want adjunctive services, we're always here for that. But we are launching this and delivering this through our coaching programs to our hundreds of practices in our family, because it's a perfect time. Whether the pandemic is good, bad, or ugly, we won't know for a while, but
Right.
it's a great time to refocus on what's important. And a practice without case acceptance will not grow.
Right.
And dentists are not happy.
And if a dentist isn't happy, nobody's happy. That's absolutely the case. So that's been fun.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for choosing us.
Wow, thank you. No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it was that moment, and I thought, okay, you know, it's hit the fan. Who do I want to go through this with? You know, I didn't see, you know, before the pandemic, you know, hey,
We're on the road 100 days a year.
yeah, get on the airplane. Don't talk to me. I'm busy. Right. But now with the pandemic, it's created a new work environment. It's created new opportunities. And I thought, okay, who do I know? Who do I trust? Who do I know is good for dentistry? And Lisa, you and your team, you're good for the patients. You're good for the practice. You're good for the profession. And I like being around people like that. So everybody, look out. I'm coming your way. You can hide, but you cannot run.
And as soon as the borders open, you're coming here.
That's right. As soon as the borders open, I'm going to come up there and have some fun with you. So, okay.
Thank you so much for your time and all your sharing of your wisdom. And we'll do follow through tomorrow with everyone, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Yeah, and you know, give me a call, Lisa. Give me a call tomorrow, or Paul, or somebody. Give me a call and let me know how this turned out. It looks like we still got 69 people, so not many ran out of the room.
Well, they're dentists. They run out late all the time. They expect us to do the same.
That's right. Okay, I heard my dinner bell go off.
Okay.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, take care.